Well, welcome back for another episode of Iron Railroad. Yes, there was a black bear sighting today, actually last night, right outside my road from my house. Yes, the black bears are out. It's April, and when you see a black bear, it's time to highball out on your Pennsylvania Railroad. Well, my point is, yes, we're going to talk about railroads today, especially the Pennsylvania Modified K5. However, as far as the black bears, well, I got your attention. Yes, there was a sighting for a black bear outside my house by the road late at night. And black bears in New Jersey, where I'm at, is really not common. Most of the black bears are up in the northwest Jersey in the mountains. But it's April, and habitats are getting smaller and smaller for them. And I guess they're venturing south into central Jersey, and that's where I'm at, central Jersey. Well, for the most part, for those who don't know anything about black bears, for the most part, they're pretty docile. You leave them alone, you don't do anything stupid, they just go away. But if they're coming towards you, don't run. If you run, they think you're a prey and they're going to go after you. So what you do, you slowly back away. Don't look at them, just back away slowly. Or, if necessary, make a lot of noise, and they'll just run off. Black bears are not meat, for the most part, are not meat eaters. They're more vegetarians and things of the like. They're 75% non-meat eaters, let's put it that way. They like apples, they like vegetables, they like the fruits, and occasionally small animals if they have to. But in April, they're coming out of hibernation, and they're looking for food. The males come out first. The females are probably still in the den. If they have little cubs, then they'll be with them. For the most part, black bears, they come out either very early in the morning or very late at night. And during the day, they just sort of sleep. And occasionally they may come out and get a snack, but for the most part, they don't bother you. They'll go through your garbage if you leave your stuff outside. So that's black bear. So we had a sighting here, and I'm sure there'll be more to come. Probably the problem was that for the last 2 years, other than this year, the last 2 years prior, the governor of the state decided to ban black bear hunting. So the population exploded. Some of the black bears actually died from starvation because there was just too many of them, not enough food, not enough anything for them to eat. But the hunting was back in place this year. So there was less invasions or intrusion into private homes and their yards and what have you. But that's the story of black bears. Now, no, I didn't really highball out on the Pennsylvania Railroad. What I want to talk to you about is actually, I have a K5 that was modified, and it's quite interesting how it was done. We have a whole set: the engine, the tender, and the passenger cars. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. So stay tuned. We're going to go inside and I'll show you what's going on. Well, we're back inside, and I am going to show you this K5. It's a Pennsylvania, actually it's a K5 AC Gilbert American Flyer S-Gauge engine with passenger cars, and it's been customized to reflect the Pennsylvania logo and the Pennsylvania theme. And I can tell you the story behind the Pennsylvania story concerning the locomotives. What it is that around 1914, 1917, I think 1914, 1917, the first K4s, they were called K4s, and it came out, at that time it was produced in quite a number of cars. However, I have to tell you, the one model that I have now is from a K5. The K5 and the K4s actually look identical, but history has it that the K4 was had a smaller boiler, though they look identical in real life, but the boiler was smaller, the tender was smaller, and that was built from 1914, 1917 up until 1929, I believe, and then it stopped. Around A couple of years later, a few years later, two companies built the K5, Altoona and the Baldwin Company, a steam company. They built the K5s, and they're identical. Again, it's the boiler that's bigger, more power, and the tender is bigger, more, it have a heavier load of coal and for the fuel. So if the boiler is bigger, you have more water for steam, and most of your train folks know that we need coal to burn, and it burns, heats up the water in the boiler, and that produces the steam, and hence the steam pushes the locomotive forward. And there's a massive amount of pressure in there, massive amount. So the bigger the boiler, the more pressure. And that's the thing of that. So they discontinued this particular K5, K4 mode engine in real life back in 1957. They discontinued it, but there are still some of these still around for historical vintage history. So A.C. Gilbert and some other model train companies have built models after the K5s. One of them, a very nice, beautiful steam engines ever built. So what I'm going to show you now is I'm going to run the K5 modify, Pennsylvania, and then I'm going to explain to you the particulars how it was modified. So just enjoy the view for now, and then we'll go back to the details. This is the K5 Pennsylvania locomotive, tender, and its passenger cars. Okay, I'm going to highball this. We'll start with the passenger cars. This car was originally of a different color. These are what we call the heavyweights, and the original color was actually a green and was custom painted to the Pennsylvania railroad colors. The top was painted flat black. The body is painted the Pennsylvania Railroad, the purplish, maroonish brown color, and it was subsequently labeled with the Pennsylvania name and the number. I kept the original link couplers were kept. We did not change this out to the conversion knuckle couplers because this actually works pretty well. If you have a free-flowing link coupler, and if the level is correct, it will not uncouple. As you saw, it was running very well. So link couplers do work, but you just have to make sure all the measurements are correct. The height of the link coupler is correct, and it is free to pick up and drop down. If it's sticky and stays up, you're going to have uncoupling. If the level is incorrect, you have uncoupling. So this is the Pennsylvania. All the cars do light up. It came with the original light socket with the light bulb inside. And this is the heavyweight with this 6 wheels on each truck. And this is the electrical pickup, the metal wheels on opposite side. New lampshade, window shades were put in. New windows were put in. The glazier, the semi-gloss glazier was put in, and then the window shades were put in. So this is the Pennsylvania passenger car. So not bad. It's good. This is the model K5. Again, this is identical to the K4s, but in the railroad model industry, they use the K5. It's a Pennsylvania steamer, and this unit came with all the linkages, the original linkage, original metal railings. It is a 4-6-2. That's the engine configuration. And this is the tender. Came with the marker lights, the grab loop ladder, and this was actually retrofitted with a red glowing smoke unit. It did come with the smoke unit, and it smokes quite well. Has an operating headlight, and everything's in good condition. It was relabeled to reflect the Pennsylvania theme. You have the Pennsylvania on the tender, and actually we gave it a number of 5690. 5698 actually, and this 5690 I believe is made by the Baldwin Steam Company. The 1590, one digit off is the Altoona. Yeah, I think is it 5698 or 5697. But in any case, this was made. Only 2 of the K5s were made in the 1920s. So Altoona made one and Baldwin made one. This tender originally came with a reverse unit, a 4-step reverse unit. Meaning, you cut the power, put the power back on, it will go forward. You cut the power, and then put the power back on again, it will reverse. That's the 4-step reverse unit that came with this original model. It also came with a jack panel where it hooks up the reverse unit to the cab. This is the original motor. It's still there, operates well. However, what was changed was that the 4-step reverse unit was taken out of this tender, and in place of that, a 2-step reverse unit was added to the cab. This is actually the 2-step reverse unit came at a much later date with American Flyer, and was retrofitted with the newer 2-step. So you don't have to do the 4-step to reverse something or move it forward. So just one down, you move forward. One down again, reverses. So you skip the non-electrical contact step. So 2-step versus the 4-step, actually a little bit more efficient in that sense. So what's in the tender now, since the 4-step reverse unit is gone, a whistle was placed into the tender in its place. And this is part of the whistle unit. And there's the opening here for the sound to come out. So there you have it. I have to say, this also came with the rhinestone jewels, the green rhinestone jewels, and the bell is here. Pretty authentic. Well, that concludes this episode of the Pennsylvania Railroad. And of course, there's no black bears down here where I'm at. It is outside, Romeo somewhere. So again, don't let it deter you from running trains if you see a black bear. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.